honestly, that's what we noticed. And I noticed it particularly because of our situation. My mum would get the once a week Skype call for on a Saturday if Aunt Mary took the laptop down. How's the job? How's the weather? How's the kids? Usual. And we talked to Lorna's mum, and we talked every day or every other day, and we were just talking. Just absolutely
just chat,
just complete chat,
just like this.
No, what's the weather like? What's your job like? I reckon in 9 years we've been here, Lorna's mum has asked me once or twice about my job, right? Yeah. Just generally, just because she's polite, right? Other than that, we're just chatting, because we had it, but because it's, I think more you do it generates. Like the group chat, I mean, it generates more and more.
No matter what time of year it is, right? So, like, certainly my niece is 15 now. Aye, 50. So I've missed a chunk.
Yeah,
that was the hardest thing.
Yeah,
that was the one thing that I struggled when I first came over here, was leaving my niece, because I was really, really close to my niece. I used to do continental shifts. I would do 3 shifts on and then 3 off.
Yeah.
And I would always go and get her for school.
That's fantastic.
Cook her dinner and do her homework and stuff like that. So that was the one thing that I really, really struggled when I came over here.
Must be a big loss. I remember my niece was
massive.
Yeah.
Because I've only got, it's only my brother and his wife that have got a daughter.
So what age is she then, Chris?
So she'll be 50. She'll be 15 now.
Right.
Coming up 16. No, 15.
They change that much as well. I mean,
do you feel close? Sorry,
carry on, mate.
No, I was going to say, do you feel close to her now?
It's weird.
Really keep in touch?
There's always it takes a couple of days. When you go back, it takes a couple of days to kind of not learn about each other again, but just to kind of
warm to each other.
Aye, because it's like she can always come across a little bit nervous. Like I've been home 5 times, maybe 5 times since I've been here. Each time I've left, she's been bawling her eyes out. Yeah. We used to always do something at Christmas, so I used to always take her up to Edinburgh, Winter Wonderland. My brother,
hey, you sound like a cracking uncle, mate. Honestly, no wonder she's upset, man.
Nah, we'd go to winter. So it was always good for my brother. My brother would be able to wrap the presents and build stuff that he had to build and get them out the way for her. So I'd take her away there, and that was a normal thing that we'd done. Even 2 years ago, I was like, she'd maybe 12 or 13. I was like, do we still want to go? Because she was like, aye.
Definitely.
Of course I do.
She always doing Uncle Chris.
Tradition, though.
That's it. It was. It was nice that it was something that we'd always done. And like I said, it did take a couple of days to get the banter going again and the wind up and all that, and Kirsty away and get us a beer for the fridge kind of thing. But every time I'm about to leave, it always gets hard. It's always hard the last couple of days, and it's because you're used to being in the company and you're used to being with everybody. And saying goodbye to my dad is always a tough one, because my dad's 10 years older than my mother. Like I said, he's getting on. He had health issues. When I first came up here travelling, he was on he was having to do dialysis three times a week.
Yeah. That must have been tough.
4.5 hours on the dialysis machine. Travelling from Hawick to Edinburgh, patient transport.
That's
and
tough,
then I can remember sitting at Cairns Airport, my sister phoning us saying, Dad's been rushed in the hospital. And my heart sank. I was like, shit, what's happened? Do I have to come back or what? And she's like, nah, they found a donor or a match.
Right.
So he went away and rushed in, kidney took, got his life back.
Fantastic, Chris.
So
it changed. So it stopped him having to dialysis. My dad is, like I says, he's English. He would go down to Derby and see family, in Yorkshire and see family. He used to have to arrange dialysis at the local hospital
to check
on
in
the Monday, Wednesday, Friday to get it done.
That's
so
horrendous.
He got his life back.
That's fantastic, Chris.
And for that to be lifted for me, and yes, he's on blood thinners. Yes, his kidneys of what. When I went home 2 years ago, I went to the see his renal consultant because I wanted to know that what he was telling me
was right.
Was right.
Yeah, because they don't always do it.
You only hear.
Yeah, they tell you the good stuff.
You only hear what they want to hear. So I says to my dad, I was like, I'm going to hire a car. I'm going to take you across. I'm going to ask her questions, and I'm going to know the truth.
Because I don't believe a word you say.
So I just had to know. I just had to know because it would have helped. You're always waiting on that text, or you're always waiting on that phone call that something's wrong or something's happened back home.
It's that peace of mind, Chris, and you're right. I mean, they don't want to worry you. I mean, that's what parents do, don't
exactly.
They don't tell you the truth because you want you to be over here enjoying life and don't worry about us. We'll be fine, kind of thing. Yeah.
So when we got into renal consultant, I was like, right, I'm going to ask you a quick. So tell us how he is, and she was like, he's fantastic. I went, what? was like, look, can I see? So she showed us the results. And yes, his kidney had took brilliantly, but because he was in blood thinners, it helps the blood and clean everything out a lot quicker.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has to be a bit careful in other things. And she's like, I still have concerns about him smoking. So my dad was probably maybe a 25 or 30 a day habit.
Good God,
What I mean? So, and she was like, that's my only concern. Apart from that, his health is brilliant. Everything else is grand. So I was like, Dad, we're going out for lunch. Yeah. So I took him out for lunch and I sat him down. I went, right,
you're stopping smoking.
Smoking stops. He's like, what? I went, you're stopping smoking. I'll get you that vape thing, whatever everybody's having. You tried that, it was crap. Got the vape thing, I'll get you patches, but I want you to stop smoking. I says, I've just sat there and that's what she's concerned about, so you're stopping smoking. My sister was there. My sister was like, I was like, Nikki, what do you think? And she's like, she was like, whatever you think. She knew I had to be in my bonnet.
Do you think it's you coming over here that's made you realise that, like, listen, you want your dad in the best possible health possible because you're not there?
I hate, like, my dad's alone. So my dad's single. He has been single for years. And he always, for some weird, stupid reason, he always allowed your mind to kind of just think, what happens if something happened to him?
Yeah.
How long would it be?
It's a natural thought, isn't it?
But it's like, how long would it be before somebody finds him? Who goes to my dad's house regularly?
Yeah.
My sister drops off some food now and again, but she lives in a different town. My brother's wife, Jane, she's brilliant. She goes away and does his shopping 2 or 3 times a week. So that's what I'm always thinking.
Yeah. I think that's what you do, though. I mean, I imagine every expat, they're all got that
That's
concern.
the biggest worry, isn't it? It's your mum and dad more than anything.
I mean, you could enjoy your life something rotten across here, but you've always got that little niggle in the back of your mind that what if something happened and he wasn't there.
I have to say, my family, my 2 brothers, my sister, well, I've not spoken to them for years. We've sort of fell out and stuff like that, but don't need to go into it. But when my mum got vascular dementia, even though I wasn't speaking to them particularly, they just knowing they were there, it was huge, because I mean, it's constantly on your mind. And Lorna's like, look, you know, go back anytime you like, and I never got a chance, to be quite honest. She never, well, no, I probably could have at some point, but I knew they were there, and just having that support, because it's always in your mind. Totally relate to that, mate. It's a horrible thing to.
And I think a lot of folk are in the same boat, whether they discuss it or not. I think a lot of people still have that fear of something going on. Certainly now, anything happens.
What you got to do?
Now,
you can't go home. That's it. It's horrible.
And you're screwed. Like, I think that's why a lot of people, certainly across here, that have families across here or older family, are adamant to say, listen.
That's why so many people are posting about, like, getting back home and, like, how do you do it and the exemption and whatever.
Aye. And that's no easy either, because you have to prove.
Yeah, you actually need the ticket, don't you?
Aye.
But then you buy the ticket, and if they say no, then you lose the money for your ticket.
Aye. Is that how it works? That's
you have to
evidence.
prove that you're going home
for more than 3 months
for a certain. I mean,
right? Yeah.
I could fly home tomorrow one way.
Yeah.
Right.
But
to come back,
I have no idea how I'm going to get back, because you've still got thousands of people sitting stranded waiting.
Yeah, because they keep cancelling flights as well.
I think somebody was on the Scots and Perth page, actually. Somebody was saying it was like $10,000 or something for a flight to come back as well.
You can fly first class and business class, I think. I'm not sure about
because that was the one I seen. Again, I can't remember where. So I think it was Scots and Perth. Actually, Chris, you'll know better than me, but I'm sure it was like average economy was like $10,000, and the first class and business class was like $30,000. It's like, man, like
it costs a lot though now, because it's changed as well, because at home now you have to go in quarantine when you get back to the UK, and then you have quarantine again when you get back here. And I was speaking to a lady that's hopefully going to be on this show, and it cost her $4,500 for herself, a husband and a kid for 2 weeks in a hotel here.
Aye, because you're now having to pay for it, remember, because you wouldn't have to pay for it, really, because people that have now flying back, it's on their...
Yeah, they're choosing to come back, so that's it,
yeah. But that's a lot of bloody money, innit?
It's a lot of money.
The thing is as well, like, if you're going home, not for a long period of time, you think you've got 2 weeks quarantine there, you've got two weeks quarantine here, so if you're going for 2 weeks, you've got 6 weeks.
6-7 weeks off your work.
That's a lot of time, yeah. What is it? I mean, I don't need to tell us if you don't want, Chris, but what do you do for a living here?
I work at Jason Windows.
Oh yeah, I told Mark earlier on. I'm sure I've seen him posting something with Jason Windows.
I've had two jobs since I arrived here. I worked for 6 months at a company in Canning Vale called Pipe Maker.
Yeah.
Doing similar to what I'd done back home. So I worked in MTEL, which is like your broadband cable.
Oh yeah, fibre optics
stuff and all that. And the guy that was the manager of Pipe Maker used to come from Jedburgh, which is like 10 mile away.
That's
he also worked in Manetti's, which is a sub company of MTEL. And when I came across here travelling for that 3 months, I met him and he was like, listen, if you ever get back here, you've got a job. You can do this, you can do that. No problem at all. I was like, sound nice. So literally hit him up when the ex got sponsored, and I managed to get de facto on her visa.
What was she doing when she got a sponsorship?
She was a beauty therapist, but
that's on the skilled list.
Well, it wasn't, but it was a remedial therapist that was on it.
Right.
So you just kind of tweak, a little bit of tweak here and tweak here.
Yeah.
So I came back out, worked there for 6 months, and then before I worked in MTEL, I worked for a window company doing UPVC windows.
Yeah.
So there was about 14 of us in there. We would do everything. So you'd be cutting one day, bringing the material in, welding it, prepping it, glazing it.
Oh, so you'd actually manufacture them?
So we'd done the full lot when we were back home. So this job came up in Jason Windows, and I just applied for it. Didn't even really have a proper interview with a guy. Just stood at the top of the stairs.
It's incredible. I had to say, I told Mark this before. I had a couple of interviews online actually, but when I got here, the first interview I had was just, it's so loose, man. Okay, my boss sent a pair of jeans, all pair of scrabby. I
cycled because I never had a car. Right, I cycled to Welshpool from Vic Park. So I got on the train at Vic Park station to Connington, and then cycled to Welshpool just to get there.
Yeah.
And I stood at the top of the stairs. I was like, so I take it this is the fabrication side, and then you've got the finished goods here, and it goes up the door. And he goes, yeah, right.
Like he used to have.
He was like, right, I've looked at your CV. Can you go away for a drink and alcohol test now? I was like, no. I was like, where is it? So I had to get back on the bike, cycle round the corner.
Hope it's not far. I need to put in my tyres.
In Cudale.
Did he know you were on a bike?
He said, how did he get you to your car? I was like, I don't drive yet. I've not got a car yet. I never had a car for the first year or so when I was here. Just cycled everywhere.
I tell you what, Chris, I've said to anybody coming to Perth, you've got to have a car. So
I used to cycle. I used to get the train from Vic Park right to Connington. Is it Connington, the last station? Whatever the last station's at, and then cycle from there to Canning Vale.
Yeah, that's a good hike as
well.
It
was brutal. I lost so many chins by cycling. But I've been at Jason Windows for nearly about 7.5 years now.
That's good big company to work for as well. They must be the biggest one.
The workers, like they've run it as 0% redundancy. So even when the recession hit, they allowed people to leave. They retained, because it's effectively a skilled workforce. It probably takes people maybe 6, 7, 8 months to learn specific things. Yeah. They were just like, listen, we'll just take the hit. They allowed people to leave through general attrition, obviously people retiring and even go. And because when I first started there, we were making between 800 and 1,000 windows a day.
That's incredible. Jeez. But I mean, every house in this state's got Jason Windows in it.
The place was mental.
Yeah.
They had 65% of the business in WA. And then literally when the recession hit, we're making 170 to 200 windows a day.
Yeah, that's a lot of cut, like.
So we're now back up to about the 450, 500 because you've now got the whole COVID boom and people wanting to buy in a lot of the retrofit stuff with different little companies. So you've got people that couldn't go on holiday. I've now got money to spend to upgrade.
Yeah.
So all your security stuff and all this kind of stuff is now ramped up again as well.
What's it like changed now? Now double glazing's getting a bit more popular. Because I know Jason Windows do it now as well.
We do double glazing. So
is that just a recent thing, Chris? Because I'm sure I tried to get double glazing in here and couldn't get it.
I couldn't understand why they never done
it.
It's
incredible.
Is it as good as it is back home yet, or is it still pretty primitive?
See back home, we used to have 28mm glass,
it's really
35mm glass,
yeah,
and we'd have. We get some of the stuff with the colonial bar stuff. We used to get that in between the glass.
Yeah.
And across here, it's stick on.
Yeah.
Or it's made individual colonial bars, so it's completely different. It's, we make our own double glazed units at work. They're solid, but they've got that pocket inside it.
Yeah.
They work but they're expensive, but they're